Nurse Sue here, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make sheet pan tortellini and kielbasa, okay? So in my bowl I have some cheese tortellini, and I went ahead and cooked them like you're supposed to boil them for 3 to 5 minutes depending. I've seen packages that say 3 minutes. I've seen some that say 5. So I went ahead and did just kind of partially cook these for that quick, like maybe 3 minutes is what I did for these. So I've got my cheese tortellini in here. The next thing I'm going to add is just some cherry tomatoes. So I'm just going to dump that whole container right there. And then I'm going to add some kielbasa. Now I'm using the turkey kielbasa because that's typically what we do, a lot of turkey and chicken, that kind of thing. So I have my kielbasa cut up. I'm just going to throw it all here in the same bowl. The next thing I'm going to add is just some bell pepper. Now I have a red one and an orange one, and I just went ahead and just did some rough chopping on this, just cut it up into kind of bigger pieces, and I'm just going to put that in there. Now when I made this the last time, we really enjoyed the vegetables in this, so I put 2 peppers in here. You could just do 1 though if you feel like it's too much veggies. We just really liked the vegetables. And then the next thing is a red onion that I've cut up a red onion. And I did 2 small ones of this because, again, we really liked how sweet that onion gets when it roasts. So I have my kielbasa, my cheese tortellini, my tomatoes, my pepper, and my onion in here. Now I want to take a quick time out just for a minute and just show you what I like to do. So I take the scraps of my vegetables and I put them in a Ziploc bag and store them in the freezer. And then I make my own vegetable broth. So, like if I have butternut squash, I keep the peeling and I put it in the bag. If I have corn on the cob and we're cutting it off the cob, I put the corn cobs in there. My peelings to my sweet potatoes, onions, garlic, peppers, any vegetables, zucchini when you cut the ends off. I put all of those in Ziploc bags. When I get 2 Ziploc bags in the freezer, I take it out and I put it in a pan, and then I put that on a low simmer for a couple of hours and let that cook down. And then I strain it, usually I strain it twice, and then I'll take that broth and I freeze it in, I use like a vacuum seal thing, so I'll put it in freezer bags like that, like 2 cups or 3 cups, and I'll write that on there and what it is. Because there's a lot of nutrition that we're throwing away, and why buy vegetable broth if I can make my own, and I'm getting all the good nutrients instead of throwing them in the trash. So that's just kind of what I like to do. I just like to show you that, give you those little extra tips that I do. So the next thing I'm going to put in here is some Italian seasoning. I think the recipe technically says like a teaspoon or 2. You know, just measure with your heart, whatever. I love Italian seasoning. Obviously, we just finished that one off. And then I'm going to just do some salt and pepper. So there's my pepper. I'm going to hit this with a little bit of salt. And then the next thing I'm going to add is some garlic. I'm going to mince my garlic and put it in there. I think the recipe says 2 cloves. I'm putting in 3. I love garlic. The finer your garlic, the more flavor you get. So I like to mince it because I love garlic. Now, if you don't like that punch in the face kind of garlic, then you might want to slice it, okay? You won't get quite the powerful flavor, but I love garlic. So I like to mince it to get all that extra flavor. And then the last thing I'm going to put in here is just some olive oil. Just going to do a drizzle of olive oil in here. And then I'm just going to give this a quick stir. So I'm going to mix up that tortellini and all my vegetables, my sausage, get this all nice and mixed up in here. It's actually really pretty too with all the colors going on. And then I'm going to put this on my sheet pan. Spread this out, and again I put plenty of extra vegetables on here, so I'm going to fill up my pan for sure. And then I'm going to put this in the oven, 350, 400. I tend to go 350, just it's when I push the button the oven turns on at 350. That's the science behind how I cook. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 350. You could do 4 if you wanted to, for about 20 minutes or so. And then just kind of let everything kind of roast together. Once it comes out, while it's hot, I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese on top of that, and we're going to enjoy this. So I hope you'll definitely give this one a try. It is so good. I've made it several times. Give it a shot and let me know what you think. Thanks for stopping by my kitchen today.